Have you ever wondered why some families lose everything within a few generations, while others, like the Rockefellers, seem untouchable, their wealth and power living on for over a century? What if I told you the richest oil tycoon in American history left behind a secret so powerful that his money still works for him long after he's gone? Most of us know the struggle. We work, we earn, and yet money slips through our fingers. We're told to save, invest, maybe buy some stocks, but somehow, generational wealth feels impossible. Families rise, they fall, and statistics show that nearly 90% of fortunes vanish by the third generation. So here's the burning question. How did John D. Rockefeller, who died in 1937, create a financial machine so bulletproof that his family still controls billions today? What did he know that the rest of us don't? The answer lies not just in how Rockefeller made his money, but in how he protected it. He didn't just build a fortune, he built a fortress. Yes, he mastered oil, but more importantly, he mastered the game of keeping wealth alive. And that, as the real secret, Rockefeller's strategies weren't about money alone. They were about control, structure, and timing. Let's start with the obvious. Rockefeller didn't just play the oil business, he owned it. Through his company, Standard Oil, he controlled about 90% of the U.S. oil industry at its peak. That meant pipelines, refineries, railroads, and even competitors were all under his thumb. But here's the genius move. Rockefeller didn't crush competitors with violence or intimidation. He crushed them with efficiency and patience. He made oil cheaper, more reliable, and more accessible than anyone else. And once he controlled the market, he dictated the rules. Rockefeller understood that real wealth doesn't come from simply joining the game. It comes from owning the board. But here's where it gets truly fascinating. In 1911, Standard Oil was broken up by the U.S. government under antitrust laws. Most men would have panicked. Rockefeller? He smiled. Why? Because when Standard Oil split into 34 companies, he owned stock in all of them. Those companies later became giants like Exxon, Chevron, and Mobil. His wealth didn't vanish, it multiplied. And then came his masterstroke, the Rockefeller Foundation, created in 1913. This wasn't just philanthropy, it was strategy. By putting vast sums into tax-protected foundations and trusts, Rockefeller secured wealth for future generations, insulated it from taxes, and ensured it kept growing. His real genius wasn't just making money, it was making money untouchable. Now let's talk about how he played the long game with generational wealth. Most families crumble because wealth is passed down like a lottery ticket. But Rockefeller created rules, structures, and trusts that controlled how his heirs received money. Instead of handing his kids billions outright, he built systems that distributed wealth carefully, forcing discipline. Even today, the Rockefeller Trust reportedly supports hundreds of heirs, paying for education, housing, and investments, but always with oversight. That meant no reckless spending sprees, no spoiled heirs burning through fortunes. His system ensured the family stayed rich, not just in his lifetime, but for generations. Rockefeller proved that true wealth isn't just about earning money. It's about designing systems that outlive you. Here's another twist that people often miss. Rockefeller didn't just give money away. He invested in giving. He funded universities like the University of Chicago, poured millions into medical research, and reshaped public health across the globe. This wasn't just generosity, it was influence. Philanthropy allowed him to shape education, science, and politics for decades to come. Even now, the Rockefeller Foundation steers billions in funding worldwide. Giving money wasn't weakness for Rockefeller. Done right, it was the ultimate power move. And then there's the image game. Let's not forget, Rockefeller started as one of the most hated men in America. Political cartoons painted him as a villain, a greedy oil baron who strangled the economy. But by the time he died, he was praised as a generous philanthropist. How did that happen? Through carefully crafted acts of charity, public appearances, and a complete rebrand that made people forget the ruthless monopolist and remember the kindly old billionaire handing out dimes to children. He showed the world that wealth without reputation is fragile and that controlling your image can protect your empire. So here's the big takeaway. Rockefeller's secret wasn't just oil, it was structure, control, and legacy. He mastered monopolies, trusts, generational planning, philanthropy, and image. And that's why his wealth won't die. He built a machine that could not only survive him, but grow stronger without him. If you found this breakdown eye-opening, hit that subscribe button right now, because we've got more hidden history and money secrets coming your way. And when you're done here, check out my video on the hidden bankers who control the world. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Now let me leave you with this. If you had Rockefeller's wealth and power, would you choose to pass it down for generations like he did? Or would you spend it all in your own lifetime? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I can't wait to see where you stand.